So once again, this episode feels like a really fleshed out, detailed version of what we got in the manga. You've got all the important beats in here, but they just feel that much more detailed, expressive, and gorgeous to look at. So in these episode videos every week, I'm going to be talking about the show as an adaptation more than anything else, because I feel like that's more interesting for manga readers who already know what's coming in the story, as well as anime onlys who don't necessarily have that point of comparison for themselves because they haven't read it. Hopefully, despite how incredible an adaptation that this is proving to be so far, it doesn't put people off from going and reading the manga afterwards or during the season, because it's still incredible and it's always going to have that soft spot in my heart, and I still think that it is unique enough an experience to be worth reading on its own. The anime definitely isn't trying to just be the manga but better, or trying to replace the manga as the superior version. It's adapting it faithfully, as well as adding and slightly shifting things around to better suit the medium. If you haven't yet watched my episode 1 video, I highly suggest going back and checking that out first, as I go into a lot more detail about what this season seems to be doing differently to, or better than, most other anime adaptations. Anyway, with all that out the way, let's dive into this episode properly. These videos probably won't have like a specific structure each week, so if there's something I don't talk about that you guys want to hear my opinion on, just leave a comment down below and I'll reply to it there. So first off, not a huge thing, but I wanted to mention the opening few seconds with Geto making himself a cup of tea before the scene with the Q soldier and the cursed spirit. This felt very much like the sort of thing they did with Chainsaw Man, and I really enjoyed it. Just a nice slice of life moment, not necessarily something most people would even notice or think about, but a really nice touch to open the episode. I loved the interactions with Riko, Geto, and Gojo. All the voice actors did an amazing job at bringing those to life. I can imagine some people being annoyed with Riko's character, but I thought her voice actor did a great job at bringing across the naive, innocent side as well as the more abrasive one. I'm sad that the Crunchyroll subs didn't do justice to the manga translation for this scene, but regardless, great stuff. Now, the first major thing I want to get into about this episode is the stylistic choices in how they depicted flashbacks or pauses during the fight scenes. So first off, with Geto's fight with the Shikigami user, I loved how they split up the screen into almost different manga panels to show the different parts of the surroundings that he was analyzing during his inner monologue of how to take down Geto, as well as the transition shots into and out of the flashback. They were so creative and just beautiful to watch. The first part especially felt like they literally ripped out the manga panels and put them on the screen, but it was done in such a dynamic and fluid way. It easily could have felt tacky or made the screen too busy, but it fit perfectly with the analytical style of his monologue, and also helped you get into the mind of the curse user as he was analyzing Geto's technique and fighting style. Now this leads into the second thing I love the most from this episode, and that's the score. The angelic choir music playing over Geto's beatdown was perfect, symbolizing the man's life flashing before his eyes, and then it continues as we transition to Gojo entering the chapel, where all the voices fade out and we just hear Riko's as she finished singing, and it was the perfect transition. Now, next up, we gotta talk about Gojo versus the curse user with the clone curse technique. Now, using his glasses to show the quick flashbacks and shots to help the audience understand his explanation of the Limitless better was just perfect. I can't think of a better way they could have done it. Not only was it amazing symbolically, presumably they used the glasses to represent his six eyes, but visually it was just so clean. They didn't have to go this hard for what easily could have been a standard anime flashback moment where we just cut in and out of different shots from previous scenes with Gojo's dialogue over the top of it. But they decided to integrate it into the scene like this, and it made it flow so well and feel really unique. Now, aside from this little fight being so well done, my favorite part was easily how they showed Gojo's failed attempt at using curse technique reversal. The build-up of the score, his insane feral facial expressions, the close-up on his face as he says curse technique reversal, the red glow filling the room and seeming to blow the curse user away just for it to fade away along with the score and then get followed up by Gojo's punch. Just such amazing stuff, man. All of this probably doesn't mean much if you haven't read the manga and you haven't been waiting to see this stuff adapted, but as a manga reader, even these little scenes or moments are just such great payoff to finally see in action. Now, the final thing we have to talk about for this episode is, of course, the man himself, Toji Fushiguro. Now, it goes without saying that the character acting as well as the voice acting here is perfect. His facial expressions when he's asked about Megami, followed by the cold, "Who's that?" Perfection. Hearing Sorcerer Killer spoken for the first time. Amazing. The foreshadowing with him eating and then stabbing the takoyaki balls with the chopsticks, all with this ominous score playing in the background. If you know, you know. Some random guy walking into him and then getting flung backwards as if he just walked into a brick wall. Yeah, that's Toji for you. I have a lot of things to say about his character and how they seem to be depicting him here that I'm going to have to save for the next few episode videos. But yeah, anime onlys, you're in for a treat. There's a lot of mystery surrounding his character right now, but all's going to be revealed pretty soon. These first 2 episodes have been some great setup for the future, as well as some really nice slice of life, more light-hearted moments, but I'm gonna warn you, that's over now. Brace yourself for the final 3 episodes of Hidden Inventory, because shit is about to get real. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my thoughts, opinions. As usual, let me know what you thought of the episode down below, and if you have any questions about my thoughts, or just JJK stuff in general, leave them down there. If you want to make sure you get my JJK videos every week, as well as a bunch of other stuff that I'm going to be doing, then make sure to subscribe, and I will see you guys in a blur.